I think it's quite shocking at how well built these Mitsubishis are, especially considering the price point. We're going to look at the Eclipse Cross today. I'll include a link to the Southtown Mitsubishi's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this Eclipse Cross. Let's get right into it. This turbo 1.5 liter 4-cylinder produces 152 horsepower and then 184 pound-feet of torque. Goes through a CVT. Fuel economy is 25 around town, 26 on the highway. If you're able to, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. It massively helps out the channel. The black decal on the hood with the silver paint creates nice contrast, and then Eclipse Cross has actually been blacked out too. Split light design with the actual headlight cluster and everything down below. Pretty common nowadays. And then you got the Mitsubishi logo there in the center. Altogether, I think it's a pretty solid look for the front end. Tire wheel setup is 225 by 55 by 18. The wheels are completely blacked out on the black edition. Who would have thought? You also have blacked out mirror caps, door handles. And then here's the side profile. It's very interesting. It's like wedge shaped, which is, I think, unique. When it comes to key fob features, we've got our lock and unlock function. You also have the opening for the rear hatch and Mitsubishi logo on the back. Now the seats fold down flat-ish. There is a little bit of a hump. You got a cargo cover built in from the factory. And even though this is kind of more of a compact SUV, it is pretty spacious in the rear, although the wedge shape does get rid of some of the vertical space. And of course it is power for the closing too. The taillight's really cool with how it arcs up top, and then you got the rest of the badging here in the back all kind of in chrome. That will cap things off for the exterior of this Eclipse Cross. Let's now take a look at the interior. Now with the door panel itself, it's not exactly soft touch. I mean, that is a little bit, but the armrest itself is actually kind of firmer. And this is cool with that trim. And then the trim on the seats is really nice. Everything in here actually feels pretty darn well built, which is very surprising. Legroom in the back is good. I like the knee position back here too. You do have, it's gonna be hard to see because of sunlight, but some USB ports. And then even though the slopes pretty aggressively, headroom's okay, but yeah, it's a little bit more cramped. Keyless entry for up front, and let's check it out. We got blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then you can see down below you've got more of that kind of cool little trim. The mirror's actually power fold in, and then there is nice soft touch for the front. Speaking of the front, look at these seats. And then you do have your power adjustments and everything there on the side. And let's fire up that engine. Boom. Now the trim all around the steering wheel I think is really nice, perforated on either side. Practical controls on the front face, including your adaptive cruise control. You've got volume voice command controls on the other side. Regular stocks there in the background. Now with the gauges, you do have analog gauges on either side, and you've got that screen in the center to display information like letting us know we got to refuel. And just a backup camera in reverse, resolution with it. Not the greatest, but gets the job done. And the infotainment system, you can see it's a little bit more old school, but it responds pretty quickly with the different touch points. So I think it's a great system. Now this does have dual zone climate, so you can set all that. And then you'll notice that you got your little heated steering wheel control right there. Eco mode, you've got more USB ports. The heated seats are down here. And this is for the all-wheel drive system. We've got our parking brake and auto hold behind that. Shifter here for the CVT, some cup holders, and then the center console's got good space. I do like the trim on the top of that. And then actually no sunroof with this. 2026 Black Edition, total MSRP $33,790. Let's see how this Black Edition performs. Well, let us set off in the Black Edition. Hopefully we don't run out of fuel. But we're going on a short little drive, so it should be fine. Man, that backup camera resolution is pretty bad. But I don't know, maybe you guys agree with me or disagree with me. I don't mind that stuff anymore. I think that when I first started reviewing cars, I was kind of like, yeah, gotta get crisper with the image, gotta get more technical, this and that. And now I'm like, I don't really care. If you got a potato cam, I don't mind. That's fine with me. As long as the car drives well. And I do think it's cool they have different all-wheel drive modes with this. A little bit of customization depending on the terrain that you're in. And they do make like an off-road version of this. I'll try to review one of those another week. I actually think it's kind of cool. A little bit of a Subaru competitor, right? But yeah, I mean, it is, seriously, if you haven't, like if you're looking at cars that kind of compete with the Mitsubishis and you haven't gone and just sat in one of the new Mitsubishis, you should do it. It is shocking to me the quality that these Mitsubishis have. Like, this is, for the price point this car is at, this is a pretty darn well-built vehicle. Now when it comes to power, it's got a turbo 4-cylinder with CVT. You just gotta stay in it. It's not bad. It's not fast. It is not fast. Let's not pretend it's fast, because it's not. But yeah, you just gotta stay in it. That's the thing, is some cars, that's really all it comes down to, is that as long as you kind of just sit there in the throttle, then even though it doesn't have a lot of power, you just kind of, you get up to speed. You get where you need to get. It is pretty peaky though. It's got that kind of like turbo lag, and then you get more power as it goes on. It's not bad. Everything in this feels just kind of old school, and I think that's probably part of the reason why I find it kind of charming and kind of cool. It's because of that more old school feel rather than the modern techie everything, right, that a lot of these other cars are like. Steering wheel's great too. I like the trim. Blacked out trim at the bottom's kind of a nice little touch. It's something that's kind of underrated that not enough people talk about, I think, with cars, is just the textures within a vehicle with the major touch points. That's something that I think a lot of automakers get wrong nowadays. They just go, oh, what's the cheapest material we can throw on that's gonna last a while? Versus, you know, did you get in the car? Did you get in the car that you built, and actually, did you grab the steering wheel? The thing I love about these Japanese cars is, again, it feels like they're made by real human beings. It feels like a human being sat in this car and touched the steering wheel and went, you know what? This section needs to be perforated. This section shouldn't be. This section should have a little bit of, or fine. This section should have a little bit of black trim that's kind of smooth, textured, right? Because it's as much as something you look at and feel and everything. I don't know. It's just good. And this is a cheap car. It's got all this cool stuff going for it, and it's a cheap car. Say those safety, that's the one thing about Japanese cars, is the safety systems are a little bit too aggressive. Like, again, I'm not the best driver on the planet, but a little bit too much Big Brother going on. They're a little bit too sensitive to everything that's going on. I will say, this kind of console design, it does kind of wrap around your knees a bit. It's a little bit tight. Kind of reminds me of my LX in terms of the knee tightness that you experience, which is kind of interesting. Sorry, I don't trust people here at all, because the amount of people, okay, we're good to go. The amount of people that run red lights and then also just don't actually turn when they have a turn signal on or off, it's, yeah. It's, again, if you just like sit there and just kind of it's not bad. The power doesn't feel bad at all. It's kind of like a, if you drive it kind of like you would drive a diesel in a way, you're not going to be too annoyed with it. But if you try to like really get into it, then yeah, you'll probably be annoyed with the power. But if you just do partial throttle and just kind of let the revs hold like this, just let the revs hold, yeah, it does well. So this is a cool little all-wheel drive affordable vehicle. I think it's worth at least checking out if you're looking for something that's a little bit less money. And of course, since it's Mitsubishi, and you guys can see all the freaking signs, they got deals. They got deals. So not only is the MSRP lower, but the chance to haggle, it's there. So let me know your thoughts.